Hi, babies. Happy Pride. This is your 2026 Pride season reading. We're going to start by taking a look at the general vibe for the Pride season for you. Then we're going to look at the vibe for your love life, what you should focus on, what you should watch out for, and then we're going to have something special for the furries at the end. Anyway, so let's get started by taking a look. Let's use a different deck. Let's start here. This is a general reading for all signs. The general vibe for the Pride season for your love life is death. So there's going to be some changes. I know that like when you say you see death, you might think, oh, physical death, but actually, when I read cards, to me, this means that there's like a lot of spiritual protection. There's like the spirit world, like your ancestors thought something for a thing for you, or like your helping spirits, or just the universe helping you and protecting you. So for me, the death card is a very, very good sign. All right, so let's get some more cards in terms of the general vibe for your Pride season. We've got the King of Pentacles. So it's possible that there's like some money coming in or some stability in terms of like finances or like just material world things. Could be like a older, like mature or masculine figure, bring helping to bring in some of that stability. But I think that with this death card and this King of Pentacles in terms of the vibe of your Pride season, there anything that you've learned in the past, you're moving into like a more mature place for during the month of Pride, emotionally, financially, physically, but there's like this sense of stability as well. We've also got the Two of Wands for your Pride season. So the Two of Wands I read as a portal card. So if you are a person who is looking for queer community, like LGBTQ plus community, or you're just like coming into your space, yourself as a queer person, there's this moment of transition. If you've been out for a long time, there's another moment of transition of like, okay, so I am more comfortable in my with myself. I am there's something that you realize or something that becomes more stable, and it has to do with the lessons that you've learned in the past. And we've got the Hierophant. Speaking of lessons in the past, so the Hierophant is a card of maturity. It's a card of learning. It's often a card of can be a card of like religion, but I don't always read it that way. Religion could come into your life during Pride Month. Okay, so let's clarify these. Let's clarify this death card for the Pride, your Pride Month vibe. Clarified by the Two of Cups. Okay, so this has to do with like lessons from a previous relationship or a previous connection are really going to be like resonating and around and like making sense this month for Pride. So this death doesn't have to do with like a physical death so much as like what you've learned from that past relationship and you've recycled into this new space that makes you like more emotionally, physically, all sorts of more stable in your life, financially also. Cute. I like all that. Let's get a little bit more clarity on. Let's get clarity for the Hierophant. Let's find out what that Hierophant is. Hi, Bunny. Thank you for coming in, Bunny777. I love your name. Welcome to the channel. And we're going to clarify this Hierophant, which is this card of like kind of tradition, clarified by the Hanged One. And in this deck, this is a spicy Hanged One. So what this is saying is that after all of the stuff that, like I said, everything that you've learned, everything that you've gathered is that space of transition that we talked about, that like the portal into somewhere where you're going to feel very, I just keep getting this idea of like stable. Pride month brings in, could be in your relationship. We're going to check out your love life in just a second, but it could also be like your housing stabilizes or your sense of self, your emotions stabilize. There's a lot of ways that we can experience that. All right, so let's transition into the vibe for your love life for the month of Pride. First, we're going to get some oracle cards. And Bunny says, can you please tell how harsh it'll be? We can do some questions at the end of the reading. And Kitty Play, hi, nice to see you. Thank you for coming into the reading. All right, so your love life for the your Pride season. The first oracle card we've got is there a second chance? So let's come back to this death card. And this is saying like if there was a relationship that felt like it was done and it was like over, either the lessons are coming back from that or even the person. So you could be out somewhere, totally random, and you just see them or you think about them or they see you see their friends. But there's this moment of a second chance. Keep in mind that if something ended and it ended because of behavior and you haven't seen a change of behavior, then you don't have to stay in that. Just because the person comes back doesn't mean you have to like go back to them. It's possible that somebody wants to make it right. It could be you, it could be another person, but with your love life, there's this possibility. Like I said, transition with the death and transition card that we got in the initial part of the reading. This tells me that there's might be something coming back into your love life, which might not be a bad thing. We've also got you fill me up with happiness. So you are filling someone up with happiness, or you're able to fill yourself up with happiness in your love life, such that you're much more again stable, and you don't need to depend on other things or other people to make you feel during this Pride season like you are attractive, like you deserve love, like you uh, are a person who's going to be happy in a relationship. You don't need other people to do that right now. All right, so just a couple more oracles for your love life. We've got I still think about you. All right. This reading keeps saying the same thing. Okay. If you're not a queer person and you're leaving comments, thank you. I appreciate you interacting with the reading because it does help the numbers go up. So, Mr. 12, somebody, thanks for bringing in the traffic. All right, so let's keep moving. The next part of the reading is what you should focus on for the month of Pride. And the month of Pride, we're going to use the Witch Tools deck. And this deck um, sounds you sound like MJ. Cool. I don't know what that means. So with this deck, in terms of what you should focus on for the month of Pride, we're going to look at like your spiritual tools, let's see, technologies. Speaking of technologies, scrying mirror, gaze into the unknown, and let your intuition guide you. So like we're doing right now, you're gonna want to focus on like your intuition and like anything that you can get messages about whatever your spiritual technologies might be. So maybe it's tarot cards, maybe you have like an actual mirror, maybe you use tea leaves, maybe you use like stones or shells, whatever that is, lean into that and use that during Pride Month. That's going to give you the answers that you need, especially if if there's a person coming back into your love life, you want to make sure that like if you believe in spirits, if that's a thing for you, and because you're at this reading, you might, that you are able to confirm that information with them. We've also got chalice, embrace the flow of emotions. So love and find balance in your spiritual practice. One second, folks. There we go. All right. Just had to get rid of a comment. Okay, so you want to focus on your chalice in terms of have fun, go out. I'm not saying go out and drink, but maybe like stay hydrated. Make sure you're focusing on that. But have fun with people. Go out and like just trust yourself, trust your emotions, trust what's like what you know to be true. And that's gonna lead you to like whatever answers you need, especially if there's a person in your life. All right. And we've also got prosperity elixir, attract abundance and invite wealth and success. So during this for this Pride season, there's a whole lot of energy for you to attract the like financial abundance that you need or want, the like emotional or like real world abundance. So if you're struggling with your housing situation, if you're looking for a job, if you're trying to build money during Pride season, there is energy for you to do that with prosperity. So using like your again using your intuition, like if you feel like, oh, I should go look at that job board right now, then go look at it right now. Or because maybe something was just like posted and there's a job for you there. And feathers, connect with air, let your thoughts flow freely. So during Pride season, be open with who you are in the ways that feel safe for you, but like show yourself off and feel confident about yourself and let yourself be the most real version of you, because like even the tarot cards are saying like, yes, do this. Okay, so let's look at. I got a new deck recently, and oops, this is a very interesting deck. This deck is a nature deck, and it has like symbols and things like that. And so we're gonna look at like what we should focus on. Um, we'll see. It's new. I've only used it once, so but what we should focus on for Pride season is salmon, number 32, contemplating a powerful animal's presence. So during the month or the season of Pride, make sure that you're like focusing on like what you can produce and like interacting with others, as well as, oh, I love the fish. Thank you, Aisling Meow. I think I said your name right. But yeah, focus on like the power that you can experience from nature, from being connected to nature, from what you're producing with your mind and with your like your heart, your thoughts, and in particular how you express yourself. We've also got sailing, number 79, attacking a calling fate. So this is saying that you should during the season of Pride, pay attention to where we have the feathers, where you want to be and who you want to be. Even if you're in a moment where you're limited and you can only express yourself in a certain way, or if you're like whatever, however else you may be limited, express yourself in the moments that you can, in the moments with yourself, because during Pride season, there's a lot of energy like out in the ether in the world for you to be able to have have the fullest version of yourself and feel happy and grounded about that. There's a lot of grounding here in this reading today. A lot of stability, and we've also got. I'll take this one. Number one, rafting. So meeting a calling challenge. So if Pride season feels challenging, and it might for many reasons, it can feel challenging because maybe you like don't know people in the community. Maybe you don't know where to go, or you don't have places to go. You don't have people to go with, or there's like a lot of alcohol around at Pride events. So if something feels challenging, make sure that you know that you can get through what you need to get through and have your boundaries. Because with rafting, like we have a boundary around us in like choppy water. So the cards are saying, like during Pride Month, make a focus on if something feels uncomfortable, then make a change. And that uncomfortableness could be, being at home by yourself or being out and you need to go home. Okay, cool. So let's now move on to what you should watch out for the month of Pride. So we're gonna use this skeleton deck, but just kind of what you should keep your eye out on, um, and be thoughtful about. The first card is scrolling instead of healing, mindless, numbless distraction. So watch out for that during the month of Pride. Like, just remember that the things that are posted on social media are a highlight reel. So if you see somebody's like life or whatever happening in a certain way, remember that they're not showing you all the other stuff. They're not showing you the uncomfortable stuff, the sad stuff, the angry stuff, the messy stuff. They're not showing you that. So if you see something, just remember, even on this channel, when I show you these readings and I am here, I'm like I've spent time getting ready. Is what I'm saying, and I edit your readings because that's what we do on social media. So when you see somebody or you see somebody's life, keep that in mind. Also, we've got avoiding eye contact like a pro, social anxiety, shame, and this discomfort. Again, we're coming back to this part of the reading earlier in the reading where we talked about um, being yourself and being like the most that you can be, even if it feels challenging in the moment. So we are going to remember that even if that safe space for you to be yourself is only like in your bedroom or your bathroom or just even in your mind, find some way to, the cards are asking you to find some way not to feel shame about something or discomfort, even if it's just for like a minute. The cards are asking you to do that. All right, let's get a couple more on what you should watch out for. Social battery, 0%, drained, antisocial, slowdown. So keeping in mind that you need to take care of yourself. We had chalice earlier, so you need to make sure that you stay hydrated, especially if you're out like drinking or partying. I know I will be. As a reminder to me as well, like stay hydrated. But if your social battery is 0, take care of yourself. Go home if you need to, or just communicate. If you need to cancel plans, do that. Uh, but make sure that you're able to withstand like the rest of Pride season, that you have this like longevity so that like after the first weekend or something, you're not totally drained because there's stuff all month, hopefully. Okay, so before we end the reading, the special thing for the furries, which is actually just our spirit, our animal like spiritual messages, we are going to get some final messages from the universe about what we want to know about Pride Month. And we had some fill out. So for Pride season, we've got the Elder of Plants or the King of Pentacles. So this is our second King of Pentacles for the reading. So my friends, Pride season is giving us a sense of stability. It's giving us a sense of um, protection or like guidance into stability, even if it doesn't feel that way, because the King of Pentacles does that. The King of Pentacles is like, even when the rest of the world feels hard, even if it feels scary, like here's some stability, here's some grounding to stand on, here's some like let me hug you and let me help you feel protected in this moment, by like all of these real world things that I have for you to hold on to. So that translates in tarot, like in the energy that we're channeling right now, is that Pride season has the, if you reach out and get it, you can get some emotional stability in whatever way that represents for you. We talked at the beginning of the reading about transition because we had the 2 of wands, but that transition could really just be a transition into stability from like this feeling of things being unstable or uncertain into, okay, I can handle it even if it is uncertain or unstable. All right, friends. And thank you for everybody that is watching. And Aisling Meow, thank you for always coming into the readings. I see you, and I appreciate you, my friend. All right, so we've got, we're going to pull some animal spirit guidance. So this is for the furries or just anybody who likes animals, but some animal energy that during Pride season that might help you. The first one we've got is Ladybug. Good luck. So all the LGBTQ plus folks have good luck during Pride season. But the card says you are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. And y'all saw that like fall out of the deck. So the spirits are like, yes, folks. Yes, LGBTQ folks. This is this is your month. This is your season. You are blessed. And the last two we've got Black Bear, Guardian. We talked about the King of Pentacles being a guardian and being like protector energy. So gentle and wise protector, give me your confidence and power. Help me protect the ones I love, awaken my intuition and guidance. So the cards are saying like during Pride season, during a time when it can feel like there is heightened, and there might even be very real heightened dangers. uh, the cards are saying you have some protection this month. And finally, we've got Eagle Mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. So this brings us all the way back to the beginning of the reading when we had the death card, Where'd it go? So these two connect totally and completely because that death card, like I said, it's not about a physical death. It's about the transitions of relationships, of how we've known each other, of how we've known ourselves, about like what how we understand the world, how if we're feeling unstable, if the ground feels just like it's shifting underneath us. Pride season this year is about moving into stability, even if that stability looks different than maybe you thought it would be, because you know feathers we have feathers, and with birds it brings in this sense of the spirit world. At least in my culture, birds are a representation of like um, of spirits from that are on the other side helping us. So that is what I have to offer you. Thank you, everybody that is watching, and this video will be up as soon as it's done processing. And I'll see you later. Have a happy Pride. And hey, if anybody has any questions, I will answer. I've got a couple minutes. If you want to drop a question, a specific question for yourself in the reading, I will answer it. I'll give you a minute if you have a question. It can be about anything. And I just finished the reading, but I've got a couple minutes. So if anybody has a question they want to ask, I will answer it. Okay, so how do you get gems without spending money? Okay, Ciara, hi. I literally watched a YouTube video about this earlier. It's so funny that you asked that. But they so that you have to go mining for them in the earth. So you have to find somewhere. Like I know in I live in Brooklyn, New York, and so in like I think Virginia, there are like mine caves you can go to, and you have to like like, get them out of the earth. So I just want to respect you without spending money on you. Uh, um, that's very nice of you. And by interacting with the page, like that's a really helpful thing. I appreciate it. How can you connect with the moon in the city? Oh, that's a really good question. You can also ask a question of the cards too. Connecting with the moon in so when you're living in a big city, energetically, there's like a lot happening. So I'm in a city of 8.5 million people, and that's 8.5 million like auras and energy, spiritual energies. And when the full moon happens, there's like the one last night, there's a whole lot of stuff. So it's kind of like static in the like radio static that you have to get through if you want to have the connection, like if you're doing spiritual work, for instance, like like spell work, if that's something that you do. So if you're in the big city, I recommend. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Ciara. I appreciate it. I post readings every day. So if you want to connect to the moon in the city, I would very much recommend finding somewhere where you can sit quietly for an extended period of time, quietly and safely. So that could be your room, and so somewhere you can see the moon and you can just kind of like gaze at it for a long time, and you don't have to worry about like other people walking by or like bothering you, and you can just see it, feel the energies around it, and maybe like take some deep breaths and just feel like connected. But that's one way. But yeah, it just takes you just have to sit there for a long while is what I find. Ciara wants to know, how do we look at a solar eclipse without special glasses? What other glasses can we look at it with? Yeah, with the old school, the hole in the thing, the doodad, the hole in the cardboard. Ciara, do you want to ask a question about your life? Do you want to ask a question of the tarot? Like, should you or shouldn't you do something? And for folks that are in New York City, so on Friday, June 5th, New York Public Library is hosting an event called Queer Magic, and I will be reading tarot cards there. So that is a pay what you wish event, but you do have to RSVP, but I will be reading cards there live in person. Um, feel free to ask anything you like, Ciara. You don't know. That's cool. All right. Well, I will offer a little bit. So I had a conversation last night with a person, and we were talking about like what I believe, because so a little bit more about me. I have a lot of spiritual training. You're coming. Okay. Are you coming with a question? So I have a lot of spiritual training as like a shaman, and different like spiritual traditions. And so I was talking about like what I believe about like death and spiritual energy. Cool, Sierra. Take your time with your question, and I'll just talk about my spiritual belief about death. So we know from like science that we can like measure when somebody has a thought or an emotion. There's like an electrical signature that can be measured by you, like different devices that your like your heart makes or your brain makes. And so my belief about death is that all of that like electricity is what makes up our aura. And that aura, like when our physical body dies, to me, I believe that that energy doesn't just go away, like the aura, the stuff that our brains make, the electrical signature, it doesn't just go away. It doesn't just dissipate, because we know from science that energy doesn't just it doesn't can't be destroyed. It just changes. So I believe that like spiritually, um, that folks are still around when they're not in a physical body anymore. All of that energy, that's what makes up our aura, that they're still here with us. And they communicate with us in ways that we just can't measure. And if you think about it, like, a long time ago, science, we just didn't have tools sensitive enough to measure like germs. We didn't know about cells or atoms or protons. And now we have tools that can measure all sorts of stuff. So I think it's just like a matter of not being able to measure those things. Sierra says, "How do we get to the moon with an old spaceship? With a lot of tenacity, pushing. You get out and push." Aisleen, oh, I love your cute little sticker. It's like it looks like a Cheshire cat smile. Cool. All right, folks. I think I'm going to close up the live now because I have the rest of your pet readings for the month recorded. Can we eat everything in the whole world? No, do not eat everything. Some of it's going to make you sick. Don't eat everything. Yeah, so I have your readings to edit. So I do have the rest of your readings for your pet readings for the rest of the month. So I will see you all tomorrow. I might even do another live tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow around 5 p.m. Eastern time. Well, you just did, Ciara. All right. Well, call the doctor if you feel sick. That's all I can say. You just ate everything. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. And this will reading will be posted. I'm probably going to edit out this part, but the reading will be posted as soon as it's done processing. Have a good Sunday, everybody. Sorry, you're just kidding. I'm glad you're just kidding. Because you don't want to eat like those little silica bags that say like do not eat that you get in like clothes or whatever. Don't eat those. All right. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for coming. Bye.